It's mad that the live hasn't caught up yet. But do you want to refresh the window? See it in the background? That window there, aye.
I can't get anything by the way. Aye.
There's nothing. Can you hear music there?
And then you'll need to kill the audio. 6.
There's no music.
There's no music.
There's no
Fuck's
music. That's what
sake.
it says. You fucking hear it in there. Fucking amateur hour, man.
I know,
Jeez.
man. Honestly, it's only episode 13, Neil. I'm still learning.
Unlucky for some.
Fergus maybe says, I'm excited. RC, fit like lads.
Hey, fun like lads.
Right, 10 seconds just about. Okay, we are live on the worldwide internet.
Thanks very much for the people already tuned in. I hope you are well. And if you're new to this, please tell us your name, and listener, tell us your name.
Aye, I think that's worth pointing out. You know, the people that choose to tune in on Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. It is a kind of hardcore group of guys in the chat, which we love, but we don't want anybody that is new to feel intimidated. Genuinely, so if you're in the comments and it's your first time, just say hello, and we'll give you a very warm welcome, and the guys in the chat will welcome you to their bosom.
Sorry, there we had a bit of technical. The music was off for so long, and my camera's all messed
know.
up. It might cut off and in, but it'll be fine. We'll be all right.
Aye.
We'll get through it. We'll get through it.
We've got a special treat for folk next week. Neil, should we talk about it now?
Just
What the
tell them
plans are
now.
next Wednesday?
Just tell them right off the bat. Just you ruin the fucking excitement right for the start.
Right, well, let's not then. Let's hold it back. Let's hold it back and tease it. We've got a big surprise for everybody next week. And if you want to know what it is, you need to tune in live, 7 p.m. UK time.
I was watching your live on your Instagram. You know the live that you do.
Yeah.
And he says that you were getting your mental health in check. I think we should start off just with that. Your mental. How were you feeling? Are you okay?
I mean, I don't know if you're being facetious or not.
Oh, I'm being serious. I just
Aye.
like to say it like I sound
No,
like a
I
fucking
think
fella.
you know. I thought I would mention it in the live, you know, because and I'm on the live video on Instagram. So at Scottish Content Creator, you can find me on Instagram every Wednesday. I do a wee live before we go live with this show, and I happen to mention on that it's been a pretty good week. My mental health has been in check, and after I said that, I was aware of the fact that oh great, I sound like one of these folk that's always going about my mental health. And that's never been who I am, Neil. I've never ever had issues with my mental health. But over the past 18 months, I've developed a couple of issues with my mental health, and I've been addressing them. And I'm happy to talk about what I've done to address them. I mean, it could be, all joking aside, it could be some of the things I've done over the past week, 10 days, might help other folk. So
I would go into it, aye.
Aye, well, it all goes back to the members only video we did with our mutual friend Andy Watson, and I was kind of talking about how I felt about some of the stuff, how the world's changed, how it's affected me, etc. And Andy was brilliant. He was absolutely brilliant, and I know he wasn't giving me advice, but he pulled me up on what I was saying, and he went, whoa, and he sort of said, well, why do you think that? Why do you think the next thing? And he says, no. What you need to do is, and he gave me some absolutely fantastic advice. And it's one of those ones that at the time I was aware of what he was saying, but then afterwards you go away and you kind of digest what was said. And I decided just to put into action, you know, what he'd said. I had to obviously frame it according to my own life, my own circumstances, because what works for Andy, what his method would be very different from me, because I'm settled in Scotland, I've got my 3 kids and all that. But principally, just getting out more, choosing to go out more. So, since then,
Choose life.
Choose life, man. Choose to live, not exist. So
Life should be lived, not endured. Sorry
exactly.
for the quotes. Anybody else got another quote you want to add in here?
But what I've done is you and I went to the. You gave me the shout. Do you want to go and see Frankie Boyle? So we went and saw Frankie Boyle. Then Mary and I went to a cracking Vietnamese restaurant. We hadn't been out for a meal in. I mean, it was last. I think it was last year. It might have been last year. I can't remember. But it was a long time. We used to go out all the time. We used to eat out all the time. So we went to a Vietnamese restaurant. Absolutely fucking fantastic. And I deliberately went in with a positive frame of mind. This is going to be great. And I was chatting away with the wee guy that worked there, and I says, "I'm really looking forward to this, mate." And you could see him.
While he was cutting up a dog.
Aye, well, it was my dog. I was fucking sick of him, man. But you could see his wee face lighting up, and he was dead enthusiastic. He was bringing the menu. Okay, well, you'll enjoy this, and you should try that. You know, it was great. Finished it off with a Vietnamese coffee, which is something I wanted to try for a while. Then the following night, my dad had said, "Right, when are we going to go and see James Bond?" So my dad and my youngest son and myself went to see James Bond. Brilliant, absolutely great time. And basically, and then on the Saturday, I was talking to Mary, and I says, I'm going to apologise to your brother and his wife for being a fucking weirdo for over a year.
Oh, okay.
So I says, why don't we arrange to go and see them? So we went up to see them on the Sunday, and I privately spoke to both of them, and just says, look, just want to apologise for being a fucking weirdo for over a year. And what was interesting was they both replied the same way. Don't worry about it. We've all been a bit weird over the last year or so. So that that was fine.
It's weird. Aye, it's weird. I was thinking, there's a movie with Forrest Whitaker called The Experiment. I don't know if you've seen it. It's
I think I
based
have
on
seen it, but it was a while ago, wasn't it?
it's based on an actual study that they done, and it's just they put people in a warehouse thing, and then one by one they just go fucking mental. And I've thought this through COVID. I'm like, what if we're just living in a big experiment and people are just going mental one after the other? Because I know
Yeah.
people who have legit lost their fucking mind, which fair enough, good luck to them and all that. But they've lost their mind through this, and I think, what if that's the thing? We're just all going to lose our mind fucking one by one until it's just an open air asylum. Ayrshire times 1,000, you know?
Poor Ayrshire. Aye, I think there's something in what you're saying. I think the stresses and strains that people have been under, not
Aye.
everybody can deal with it. And the folk that are struggling to deal with it will struggle to deal with it in different ways, and it'll manifest itself in their lives in different ways. I know what happened to me. I just shut myself off. So but the point is, it definitely, and I spoke to Cam about it. I think I spoke to you on the Sunday morning or maybe the Monday morning, Cam. I can't remember. But
It was the Monday morning.
the Monday morning. So it's just basically I've had to make the decision to turn a corner, to flip a switch in my head. Life's there to be lived. You need people. Enjoy the experiences that are put in front of you. And as I say, it's not something I've ever struggled with before, as mental health problems. And if folk listen to or watched the live stream on Patreon last week, you'll know a bit about my background. I dealt with that. I dealt with that really, really well. But we're not invincible, and we shouldn't go through stuff on our own. But I think the important thing is to recognise initially that you've got an issue with your mental health, and just be open to folk saying, "Man, what's going on? Are you all right?" And if you hear it from another dude, then it doesn't need to be somebody you know well or somebody that's close to you. Hear it. That's the thing. Don't just listen. Hear it, and then figure out, right, what do I need to do to change? What do I need to do to turn a corner?
Aye, it's
So that's
interesting.
my update.
No, I think that's great, man. I'm pleased for you.
Thank you.
The mental health talk's funny. I think we talk about it to a certain level that's just it's what's the word, palatable? Do you like that word, palatable?
It's a good word.
For most, for like the general population, where like the whole mental health talk. Obviously, I've went to numerous therapists and all that over the years, but
Obviously.
what I get to the point now where people say, "And did you have suicidal thoughts?" Like when they're talking about the mental health, I like to go like, how would you kill yourself if you were going to do it? Because it
Yeah.
brings about this humorous side to it, and
Yeah.
because and then you can have a lot. I don't know. I find as if we just scratch the surface, and we need to have awareness. We do a hashtag, and there's a graphic designer done some bullshit quote.
Yeah.
That just doesn't. I don't think that helps, man. I think people just need to actually. Oh, but I don't know. I think, mate. I forget that people don't like to open up and talk about everything.
Hmm.
So
No,
then when
no.
when I want to talk to people about stuff, and then they're like, "Oh, that's really a lot," and I'm like, "Oh, I forgot that you don't want to talk. Why I don't understand why they don't. We're all fucking going through the same thing.
Yeah,
We're all on.
there's,
None of us know what's going on, man. You know."
you get people that will happily talk very openly about their sex life, but they
Mm.
won't talk about their mental health, which is
Aye.
strange. And it's typically guys, it's typically dudes who will talk about their mad shagging, but they won't talk about the mad dark thoughts that they get from time to time.
That's it.
And I think for me, the latter's more palatable. I'd rather talk about what's going on in our heads and stuff, you know. And I'm not talking about me talking about what's going on in my heads. I have no trouble talking to another guy if he's going through a dark time. Done it many times. You know, talk to your mates and just listen to what they've got to say.
While
Um,
you were trying to sign them up to
Patreon.com/SMRE.
either that or a cult. You know, it's
I
like
know.
fucking,
Well,
are you
that's
all
the
right? You
interesting
know,
thing. In the
I can
cult,
help you out.
mental health wasn't something you spoke about.
Probably they
So
wanted to, so they wanted to cover it up so nobody fucking actually had a thought on their own, an original thought. Like, what the fuck am I doing here? You
that's
know?
exactly what it is. So what's been interesting is while I was talking about, uh, addressing my mental health, the chat's just been full of fucking shite. They're talking about kitchens, they're talking about vinyl. Scott Porterfield has said a couple of things that are sort of on point. We've got Rob
Mhm.
Simpson going on about the quality adhesive vinyl. So, you know what I mean? It's good to see the chat's fucking keeping up with us.
All right, but he's talking about a quote obviously sticking up in the wall. Aye, there you go, man.
Ah,
Everything's
right,
a
okay.
quote up in the
Okay, I've
wall.
read
Go
that
for
wrong.
it.
Apologies, Rob.
Go
Somebody that's
for it,
missing
mate.
from the chat tonight is Rob Cassidy has a right. I'm just about to say Rob
Oh,
Cassidy's
there he
missing
is.
from the chat, but he's actually shown up because
Oh,
we've
Rob.
got a private Telegram group for Patreon subscribers. So when you become a subscriber, you get the link to the Telegram group. So the craziness of the chat on the live streams, there's a wee bit of that going on over there. A couple of folk have joined the Telegram group and then left after a couple of minutes. They're like, oh fuck, I can't even deal with this. But Rob had said that he wasn't going to make the show tonight because he'd family issues.
No, that was Rob Simpson.
Rob Simpson, are you sure that
Yeah,
was Rob Simpson?
yeah, Rob Simpson. Aye, Rob Cassidy. Is Rob Cassidy on the chat?
Rob
He's not on the
Cassidy's on the
chat.
chat. Yes,
I mean, is he?
running late. Sorry, boys.
All right, okay. No, I thought Rob Simpson got on. Rob Simpson was going to wait to show. I'm not going to talk about his private
No,
life
we can't
on
mention
the
that.
air.
But
But aye, he was going to do that, and no, it was you're thinking of two different guys.
Rob Simpson, I'm looking through
That
the
was
chat now.
that was me. You don't say aye. That's exactly it. That's exactly it. And Rob just called you a donut.
I don't mind being called a donut. I think donut's better than cunt. So donut's sugary and which takes me on to something you and I were chatting about before we went live:
Mm,
diets and weight loss.
mm.
Diets
So
and weight loss.
you've been doing a bit of weight loss as well.
I've not managed the weight loss yet, but I've decided to something I've done before. Not go on a diet. I never go on a diet. It's just sort of, like, just change what you're eating because you're
Aye.
turning into a fat cunt. Particularly at the cinema the other night, where I scoffed a massive hot dog, a full bag of Revels, and a full bag of peanut M&Ms myself.
That's a good shift.
And then I was recording another podcast, and I just noticed my fucking balloon face like that, and I was like, right, cut the sugar
No,
out, more protein.
more protein. Well, I no, the thing I've obviously I'm always just try to eat better, but I just like eating sweeties and stuff, you know. But I recently I've been thinking that I'm going to die of a heart attack. I'm going to have heart problems or that, you know. And obviously
Okay,
you've had a heart attack and stuff. But what I was wanting to go for an angiogram or whatever it is, and it's like
you
£2,000.
want to go for one?
I want to go and do the get the, you know,
It's
they
a
put you
very
in the machine.
unpleasant experience.
I'll take the unpleasantness. Because what if I need a stent in? You know, but anyway,
Aye,
I've been walking about and I've been thinking, oh, I can feel my heart. I can feel these wee things going on. And Jim was like, it's just not everybody has that. And I'm
what
like,
do
I
you
don't know if
feel? Tell me
what
what
do
you
I
feel.
feel?
Aye,
Like just wee bumps. You know, like is it no palpitations? You know, just wee
Aye.
things. But she
An
says everybody
arrhythmia.
has that.
An arrhythmia,
Aye,
it's called an
aye,
irregular
aye,
heartbeat. Aye, she's
aye.
right.
Everybody
The,
has it. It's just I never have anything like that. And then recently I've had it, but I started saying to her, like, well, because it's my birthday, like coming up, and
tomorrow.
it's the end of my year, so I'm just tired. I'm worn down for my year, my 37th year as I go into the 38th year. So it's just another fucking stupid thing that I talk about so that I can talk to people and say, "Can I talk to you for?" I feel as if I've got a. But I did want to go for the. I did want to go for the angiogram. I did want to go for them, but it's $2,000 to do it. You'll never get it done in the NHS now. I don't think anyway. You might if you've got a problem, but
I
you
think
need to
if
have
you
a
were to get
problem first.
past, aye, I think if you get past the doctor's receptionist and if you were to say to the doctor, I could tell you what to describe to him.
Oh
And
no,
I
no.
wouldn't describe
If I'm
arrhythmia. It
going
would
to,
be, I'm getting tightness. It feels like a tight band round my chest. Could you see me? And then they would refer you. But what they
I
would
don't
do
get
is they would refer you to the hospital. And what you do is a treadmill test.
Oh fuck, aye, that sounds
So,
hellish.
well, no, you just walk on a treadmill and they've got
Aye.
you. They've got all the sensors on you, and what they're looking for is slight drops in the rhythm of your heart. And it's not the same as an arrhythmia, but basically that denotes that there's blocked arteries. And then if you get blocked arteries, then you go for the angiogram.
All right, okay. Well, I don't know. It's because I was listening to a podcast as well, and the guy was 52 and he went, and it's just because uh, Granny Brady Diamond for Bill Mullet County Mail in Ireland,
Oh, aye.
you know her, right? She died of heart. She had a lot of heart attacks, or a few, and had heart problems. But my mum's like 61, so I think it skipped her, and I keep thinking it's came on to me. I'm the next thing that's going to, because that's
Mm,
what happens with some shit.
mhm,
I've
mhm,
seen it on
mhm.
a film or something, and I thought that's going to happen to me. I don't think it's a thing. I've never had the tightness. I think I was just maybe moved something wrong, and I kind of hurt had a wee muscular thing or
Aye.
that. But I think I'll be fine. But I need to change my lifestyle. This party lifestyle is no good, you know.
Up Loch Oilhead, man.
It's fucking wild,
Aye.
man.
I know a guy who's actually going up Loch Oilhead on holiday next week. He's going up for a
All
holiday. And I was
right.
like, oh, right, the guy I do the
There you go.
podcast with lives up there. He's staying
Well,
in the
tell him.
holiday park.
Aye, just over the water there, aye.
Aye.
Well,
Aye.
good. Good.
What I discovered in 2000 and start of 2018, I went for my annual heart checkup. So they do a blood test, and then they phoned me. I think that night to say, look, we've got the results back. We're a bit concerned about the numbers. You know, can you come and see us? So I went and saw them again, and they're like, your triglycerides are high, and folk talk about your cholesterol, having high cholesterol. Cholesterol's not a bad thing. Cholesterol's really, really good for your body. Cholesterol is like little trucks that deliver the proteins and the amino acids that your cells need to repair themselves, right? So your cholesterol's necessary.
How
But there's
did they
two
get
types of...
drivers for the trucks?
They struggled after Brexit, and that's why folk are dying of heart attacks now. Fact. But there's two types of cholesterol. There's the good cholesterol and the bad cholesterol, the LDL and the HDL, and you want to lower one and raise the other. And you can
Right.
you can raise the good cholesterol by eating things like walnuts and fatty fish and all that type of stuff. And you can lower the bad ones by cutting out stuff like carbohydrates, cutting down on sugar.
All right.
But there are natural supplements you can take, and a good one I think that every man past a certain age should take is coenzyme Q10, and you can
Okay.
get it in any health place, and it's
How do you
really
take
really
that?
good. It's just wee capsules,
All right. Up your
um,
ass.
up your arse, up your arse. It's the
No,
easiest way to
that's
absorb them. But aye, it's good. It's good.
aye.
Kevin
No,
Sharkey's in the
that's good.
chat.
How's it going, Kevin Sharkey?
He says he went for a health check a few years ago. His cholesterol was high, cut out the saturated fats, and went down 2 stone. There you go. It's not difficult.
It's no
Howland's
difficult. It's just doing it.
now Howland makes an interesting comment about his weight.
Uh huh.
He says, "Bitch, please, I'm 125 kilograms. So that's about 250 pounds. That's what, about 18
He's heavier
stone.
than me. He's heavier than me.
Now, I think he's lying because he sent us a photograph of his house on the Telegram group chat earlier on. Because he
And it
lives
was
in New Zealand. And his house is basically a mound of grass with some rocks, and he lives under that. And that's because he's a hobbit. Because that's where the hobbits live, in New Zealand. So he's a fat fucking hobbit if he's 125 kilo.
Oh, guys, he must be about 6.5, 7 foot tall if he's that weight.
But he can't be if he's a hobbit, so he must be 6 or 7 feet wide with really hairy feet.
He looks like a bus.
Howling's want to know, Neil.
Mhm.
Howling asks, have yous went for the prostate check yet?
Gemma does it for me like every Friday night. That's about it. Nah, that's like my uncle went for it, but and they found out that he did actually have prostate cancer, which fair enough. Nah, when do you need to go? You need to go when you're old, do you know? I'm young still.
I think it's when you're about 50, so that's me in a
50,
couple of months. Aye. I know.
It's 50, you need to go. And then I think you need to do a wee jobby in a box and send it back to them. You do. You need
For
to
a
do that.
prostate exam? Fuck off.
No, I think at 50 you need to do the whole shebang. It's like a full service. So you get your finger up arse and then you do the jobby in the wee plastic box and then send it back to them.
How'd you get your oil changed though?
Imagine working at the place where the boxes of shite arrive and
Then
you're
you drop them. Oh, bastard, it's open. There's shit
or
in
you
the
get
floor.
you get the plastic box mixed up with your chocolate mousse that you'd packed for your lunch, man.
Packing the shit in the box. Oh, that's Jim's fucking shite. Right, I've mixed up fucking Davey and Jim's shite. Aye, what are we gonna do? That's how they do the test for the coronavirus as well. It's the same sort of thing. But I don't know. I'll go. We were actually want to go for that. The not a colon cleansing. What do you call it? A colonic irrigation.
Aye, I've always fancied that.
Yeah, we Andy Watson, who was on the members only one, it was him who told me, and he says it was fascinating because you can watch it, and he was saying it was like stuff that will be in there, like a bit of curly wurly for when you were 8.
Yep.
Could be in there, and it's just he 45 minutes, and it's just black, horrible stuff that's coming out.
Apparently, it's one of the best things you can do for your health is a colonic irrigation.
I mean, you would think, see with the amount of shit that we're eating now, you know, you must think like to get that cleared, that we might as well use the science and the technology that's there. But the thing that freaks me out a bit is, he sent me a picture of the seat, how you sit on the seat and you put your knees up on it and that, and then there's a wee pipe that goes up your ass. And I'm thinking, I honestly would prefer if the nurse or that would put the thing up my ass. I don't know if I'm comfortable with holding it and then right up my ass. I'd rather they done it. But I mean, I don't know if they're no like proper nurses. It's like nail people who've went for like 1 or 2 more courses, you know, like nail technicians or beauty therapists. It's them.
I thought you said male people.
No, nail. I mean, if it's male or what? I mean, a male would be funny. Like, say, mate, I know you maybe don't get asked this a lot, but could you put this pipe up my ass, please? Because I'm not comfortable doing it. I don't know, but we were going to go and do that, and our oldest boy says, if you do that, I'll never speak to you again because that is gay. If you put something up your ass, you're gay. And I'm like, no, it doesn't mean we're gay, you know. It's like, but I'm going to go. I think I'm going to go. I'm probably just coming up to an age. I've got a couple of years where I need to just like sort my body out for the rest of my life, kind of thing, you know.
For at least for at least the next 10 years, for sure. Why don't we arrange to do it together with the girls? We'll film it for the members only. Aye, just have a wee chat to each other over the top of the wee partitions and that. Film it for the members only. In fact, we could do a whole event, invite all the producers along, and we all get it done at once, and it just becomes a big thing. Social media ruins everything, gets their arses jet washed.
I mean, they say it's really good for you, man. They say that's the thing. That's the thing to go for, you know.
Folk underestimate for your health how important your gut is, even for your mental health, how important your gut is. So the ancients described their gut as the second brain, and basically anything you've ever taken into your body, you know, to eat or drink, has to go through your gut, and you learn stuff. It's just crazy the way the gut works. But then, of course, there's the biome and all the bacteria it's in there. Apparently there's more bacteria in one person's gut than there is like stars in the universe. It's something crazy like that. And most of us don't take good care of our gut. We eat and drink a lot of terrible stuff that kills it. And there's a really good documentary I watched. It was either on YouTube or Netflix, and it's about folk who have got like extreme bowel problems, This is the
Mm-hmm.
kind of shite, literally, that I sometimes watch. And what this guy decided to do with some a wee bit of kind of weird medical advice, he decided to attempt a gut biome transplant. So
Himself.
basically, aye. So basically, what he did was he locked himself in a hotel room, right? And he went through this whole process of like sterilising everything. So and fasted for however long it needed to be, and like purged himself, so he had nothing in his gut, his intestine, or his bowel. And somebody had sent him, based on blood tests, they'd sent him some of their shit, knowing that it would be good for him, in a fucking pill capsule. And he took that, and that basically fertilized, and I'm not even joking, right? It fertilized his gut biome. So he cleaned his gut biome out, and then he took on somebody else's. And
Yeah,
apparently, the
somebody else's
difference it
shit.
made to the guy's health, night and day. The guy had all sorts of health issues, and this fucking sorted him out.
For a second,
So
when you said that he took the shit pill capsule, I thought you were going to say, and he died instantly. Just KO dead.
through diarrhea, he just shit everything out. Shit all over the
I just
walls.
thought it was dead
shit
interesting that like, medical science doesn't go there. It doesn't go into the world, that kind of world. But this guy, it basically, it's a form of, what do you call it, biohacking. So he hacked his
Oh, okay.
body, which is dead interesting, man. I
I
think.
get it. I've seen these. I'm actually one. How did they put the jobby in the wee pill? Because the capsules are pretty small. They probably put gloves on before they done it.
Aye, I mean, I'm not saying they didn't shite into a tiny pill capsule. It was, I can't remember the process. There was something to do with they had to have some feces or whatever going into it. I can't remember. It was years ago I
Okay,
saw
get
it.
it. Aye.
And it's just come back to me as we're talking about this. If I knew we were going to be talking about our bowels, I
Mm.
would have looked it up in advance and had it in the show notes.
Nah, it's just it's you need to look. I think it's getting to this age, man. I mean, I say this at every age. I think I says this when I was 35 as well. I was like, I probably need to, you know what I mean, just cut. But I thought by 40 I'd have a six pack. I mean, I still could. It's 2 years. 2 years I could. So 2 years I could have a six pack. But I mean, that's a lot of work, you know.
Why don't you say why don't we make an agreement with the Patreon subs? If we get to 500 Patreon subs, you'll commit to getting a six pack the time you're 40. But you need to document the process for us. So I'm
I
talking
mean,
about the photographs in front of your mirror and all that with the good lighting.
aye. Well, I need to. I mean, I need to commit the now. So unless we get 500 subscribers to the Patreon before the night at 12 midnight, I've got 2 years is enough to get a six pack, is it not?
Aye.
2 years is
You
how.
don't need
I
2
mean,
years.
but I've spoke to one of my mates, Bob, and I'd spoke to him, and he went to this training thing, Rangers. It was Rangers, and they were doing a training thing, and they had nutritionalists and all that, and he says that he was the fittest he'd been, and he felt good and all that, right? And he was fit, and I was like, how long would it take you to get like a guy in my shape to get into a shape where you look like Jason Statham? I mean,
Mhm.
the easy shaving the hair is the easiest bit. That's the fucking the easiest bit. It's the body bit, and I would say a full year you would need to maybe even
Aye.
just get rid of some.
I
A
think it's
year's a long
totally
time. A
doable.
year's a big commitment, man. You know.
I mean, you don't have much going on in your life right now, so that's a project for you for the next 18 months, let's say.
Year and a half. You think a year and a half?
I think you could do it. What does the chat think? Do you think Neil could achieve a six pack
No,
in
he's a
18
fat
months?
bastard.
So it's your
Um,
birthday tomorrow, Neil. Am I right?
yeah,
7th of October,
7th of October, 38 tomorrow. Aye, so
38.
that's quite interesting. I've always took the end of the year to be like December, and then you start a new year. But this year. I'm going to start and say this is the start of my new year,
Aye.
where I can be the best version of myself. I'm kidding on. I like how there's people talk about the best versions, you know, as if there's other versions. Oh, that's a better version of me, but it's just no my sort of woo woo stuff, you know.
Well, I think it's a good. I mean, I'm attempting to turn a corner in my life. You know,
Hmm.
let's set an example to the viewers and listeners. You turn a corner in your life as well. I'll have a six pack of the mind within a year and a half, and you'll have a six pack of the body. You might need some tren or some sort of testosterone type
Well, I mean, see, the thing is,
injection.
see the testosterone replacement therapy thing or
Yeah.
whatever you have here. They don't have it here, and that's the annoying thing. Like, you know, see if you're in, even if you're over in America, West Coast America, you can go into a doctor there and they'll just get you.
Yeah,
They'll sort you out with that and tell you what to take, and that's it. But here,
I
you
would
need
do
to
it.
go to like. I would do it as well, but you need to go. I mean, it's just basically it's like if you look at it, it's obviously it's just a good thing to do for your body. That's why people are living longer, you know. But it's like when you look at the guys who've done it, even like Joe Rogan, he's
Hmm.
fucking what? He's just like 54 or that, and he's got a
Yeah.
six pack and he's in great shape. So I don't know why people say, "Ah, fuck, I wouldn't take that testosterone." It's like, what, you want to look like a
Aye.
fucking woman, you know, when you're like 55. You know what I mean? It's not a good look, but um,
People think that it's just testosterone's all about getting jacked, like some freak show,
oh, I
you
would
know,
be. I'd be like
a
Arnie, man.
bodybuilder.
I'd take it too far. I'd take it too far, and I'd be fucking painting myself with brown paint and coming in like, all right, fucking flexing to everybody. But I don't know. Aye, it's just I think you need to look after your body. You know what I mean? It's a funny thing, man.
It's worth. So I think anybody listening, any man listening to this that's over the age of 35, it's worth looking at natural ways to boost your testosterone. So almonds, for example, are a fantastic source of testosterone for a man, believe it or not. Um,
Almonds.
almonds. So
I tried
either
to.
switch to almond milk or just have a pack of almonds with you during the day and just eat them. Is really good for to naturally boost your testosterone, which helps. Testosterone's a natural anti-ager.
Oh, okay.
So it's worth doing. We all let ourselves get fat and lazy as we get older, and there's no fucking need.
There's no need, but I think there's no need, but I wonder what it is why you do that, and you know, you know that you know that you could be in better condition.
Yeah.
You know, but you just think,
Aye.
ah, fuck it. These Maltesers are too nice. A fucking share bag like that, just fucking
I
shoveling them
know.
in.
I know. Is that what you eat on Wednesday nights where we're recording? Is it Maltesers?
Nah, it just depends. If I've not got anything here tonight, I've got juice and and water, but I don't have any stuff to munch on
Somebody
tonight.
commented last week. I noticed that when I reviewed the video on YouTube, you can see all the comments coming in
Aye.
as they came in when we were
Uh,
going live, and somebody said, "Tell Neil to stop popping them pills."
well, oh, it was that's my thingies though. That's my vitamins and that. You know, it's no any bad stuff.
It
You know.
looked like Maltesers.
Maltesers? Oh no, no. I can't even remember last week, man. But no, I think if it was pills, it was my vitamins and that I have in here. You know.
So we we are lazy fuckers. Obviously, we're doing our best to produce the best show possible, but ultimately we're lazy fuckers. So what we like is for the listeners and the viewers to give us stuff to talk about.
Uh-huh.
Um, I close that tab to the left, Cam. That's it. Close that one. So we like to give them stuff. We like to get stuff from them. So I think it was last night I put out a story. Cam's opening all these tabs in the background. I put out a story on Instagram, SMRE Podcast on Instagram, to ask us anything. So should we go through the 3 questions that we received, Neil, and
Go
we
for it.
can discuss? Right, so the first one comes from Chestnut Carpentry, friend of the show. And he asks, in the New World Order, what roles will each of you prefer to play? On you go, Neil.
New World Order. Well, I think I would be the leader of some sort of leader. Is he talking about like if we organize? I'd be the leader, like the modern day kind of Hitler character, if
Aye,
you will. Hmm.
yeah.
I decide who fucking stays and who goes. I decide what DNA we carry on. I decide. Like I'm fair. The way I run a country, I'm fair. The way I would run a country as well, I'm fair. But I just think I feel as if I would. You know, there's a lot of joiners that got into politics. There's a few presidents who were joiners. The guy who invented Lego's a joiner. Fucking Han Solo's a fucking joiner. But a lot of joiners. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I think it's that after you've been a joiner for so long, you just have a nice, fair understanding of the world. So, aye, the modern day Hitler sort of character.
Why not the modern day Han Solo?
Nah. It's nah. You need to. Uh, you need a bit of. You need a bit of the what is it they say? Like you don't want to be loved by people. You don't want to be loved, or you want to be hard, and there's a phrase that I'm forgetting, but I know what it is. But basically, like, I want to be a bit of a bad bastard, but I don't want to kill any. Well, I mean, if the killing will be done at I will kill the people
You will
who I don't.
personally.
Yeah, I will personally kill them. It's not going to be a race. It's going to be like individual people, like the Nando's crowd, gone, killed every
Skinny
single
jeans
one of
with
them.
rips in the knees, hundreds of
Oh,
tattoos,
fucking gone, man,
tight
gone.
t-shirts.
Aye, backwards. Any guy, any grown man over the age of 12 years old who wears a backwards hat as well, gone, killed, dead, dead. So I mean, I'd be fair, but that's my view. That's my position. That's where I want to be.
So that's who you would be, and that's the role you would play in the New World Order. I've given it a bit of thought, and based on my background, I would quite like to be the cult leader. Now, in the Telegram group chat, folk are suggesting that I'm a bit of a cult leader already because I was trying to change. I thought I was changing my profile picture on the Telegram group chat, and it turned out I was changing the group chat's picture. So when I went back into the group chat after changing it to my professional headshot in black and white, I'm looking quite moody, brooding, all the rest of it. There was just this big fucking picture of me. And of course I was getting slaughtered for that. It's like, oh, he's starting a cult. Look at this. You got to fucking worship Mark, the world of Mark. And that got me thinking when I saw Chestnut Carpentry's question, in the New World Order, I would be the cult leader. I would be, like you, I would be fair, right? So obviously there would be tithes, because if you're a cult leader, you need to fund the cult. You know, I'm planning to build a big compound with all the SMRE producers living in it. But that would cost money. I don't want to come to you and tap you up because you might decide you're going to kill me. Even though it would be fair if you did kill me, because
you'd be fine.
I'd be fine, but I still wouldn't want to come.
Go? How would anybody know how to podcast?
Exactly. So I would be the podcast cult leader in the New World Order, and folk would come to me. I wouldn't sit cross-legged and stuff like that because I don't go to yoga anymore, so my hips don't open very well. So I wouldn't sit cross-legged on a rug. I would want comfort, you know. I'd want a throne, at least.
A throne,
aye, and just folk on hand to bring me stuff, like to fill up my vape. Like, no, I wouldn't even want to ask for them to fill it up. They would be kind of constantly monitoring the level of liquid in it, checking the battery status from afar. No, I wouldn't want them coming over and annoying me and going, "How's your vape?" I just want them to know when the liquid is running low.
Would they live with
you?
No,
they would live on the compound somewhere. They wouldn't live with me. Nobody would live with me.
What sort of house you building there?
Wouldn't be a house.
Oh no.
No, it wouldn't be. I'm a cult leader. I can't live in a house.
What would you be
Look where
living
Joel. Have you seen where Joel Osteen lives?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Right.
It's fucking wild.
That's what I would live in. That's not a house. Okay. That's a palatial
manor.
Aye, I'd live in a manor, a full manor with cottages for the staff and all that sort of stuff. But I could evict them if I needed to. But anyway, the whole idea of being a cult leader.
Slaves, aye.
Wouldn't have slaves, that wouldn't be ethical, but I would people who, because I'd brainwashed them, they would kind of be like slaves, but they would think they were just serving the greater cause.
What colour would the slaves be?
All colours, fairness, equality and diversity.
Nice.
So they would go.
The thing is, it's like slaves, there's a lot of people who are slaves of the now, but it's just that they get a fag break in between. That it's like, oh no, their pain is alright. Go and try and fucking live on the minimum wage and tell me that's no fucking slavery. And it's slavery as well when you've got somebody like McDonald's making. I know McDonald's is a sponsor of the show. I don't want them to cancel the advertising, but how they're making fucking bazillions of money, and there's people making minimum wage. That's not how it really should work. You know, if we're kind of like progressing, you know, it's just slavery with fucking breaks.
I mean, this is where politically you and I sort of diverse a wee bit, because that's your communism coming out.
Aye.
Aye, I think you're right. I mean, the modern slave, that they're identifiable outside any major office block or supermarket with their mask pulled down to blow their chin, frantically puffing on a fag, checking their watch because they know their 10-minute break is almost up. My daughter works for McDonald's, and the way they're expected to work is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
But but they want. Oh, we need to raise. It's just how much money they make, and I'm
Yeah.
not. I'm not talking about let's fucking. Everybody's the same amount of money, right? I'm not. I'm not saying that, right? Because there's a lot of assholes, and I would decide who gets the money and stuff, right?
Aye.
But aye, it's still slavery in a way. It's still fucking slavery. You know what I mean?
Aye. But then if you're like the great leader in the New World Order, then you would obviously be able to exert your authority over everybody and sort all of that shit out. I mean, I hope you would turn a blind eye to my slaves, considering we host the podcast together. That tends to be what happens. The cult leader is all clearly fucking dodgy, and the great leader of the country turns a blind eye.
No,
I
all
would send.
cult leaders. No, all cult leaders are dodgy, though, are they?
Aye, I would say so. I mean, I wouldn't be. I would be an ethical cunt leader. And there we go.
The Freudian slip.
Hey, there we go.
Before you move on,
Okay.
in the New World Order, I'd be a Stasi informant. But I wouldn't actually dob anyone in. I'd just fuck with them, you know, because I'd have all the information and stuff like that about their life, and I'd have access to people's social media accounts, so I'd send messages through and stuff like that and read them. I just totally fuck, because I wouldn't feel good bringing them in, but they'd be my servants in some way, so I get to fuck with them.
So you'd have the sword of Damocles dangling over their head at any point, like don't cross you because.
No, there would be no rules. It would be complete and utter anarchy, like the Joker.
Oh no, we're not having that.
Well, that's the way I'd run myself as a KGB Stasi agent.
No, but you can't, because Neil's the great leader and he's not wanting anarchy, he's wanting communism, and I'm the cult leader. I'm trying to keep people in line through brainwashing them and making them feel good by giving them members-only video content.
But that just confuses them even more, which therefore enforces the rules that Neil's trying to make. And then also it fucks about with their mind in terms of, well, maybe I don't believe this anymore because I'm fucking with them in the background.
Interesting.
So
I think we've got a very, very robust ecosystem for our New World Order.
I think it would do well. I think it would do pretty well.
And I thank Chestnut Carpentry for his question on Instagram. Now remember, you can get in touch with the show. You can send us an email over at smre.co.uk. Just click get in touch. You can contact us on Instagram, SMRE Podcast. If you're a producer of the show, and we'll get to the producers in a few minutes, you've got fucking full access to us 24/7, Neil. 24/7. Right, we've got another another question from Instagram. Now this is from Colin Douglas. So those of you who maybe think that name sounds familiar, Colin Douglas has recently recovered from his surgery where he had a second cock put on his face in place of his nose. So it's good to see Colin Douglas back up and about. And he's come up with a great question for us, Neil, and this is a real head scratcher. Would you rather, Neil, have fingers as long as your legs, or legs as long as your fingers? Now, I know how Howland would answer this, because his legs are already as long as his fingers, because he's a hobbit. But what about you, Neil? Legs as long as your fingers, or fingers as long as your legs?
Legs as long as my fingers, or fingers as long as. You know what? I think having the wee short legs would be better. I think it would be better because you could still do stuff.
You could just kind of waddle about.
You could walk about, but you could make like mini things, and I could just get like wee hand tools and use my wee.
But why would you need the hand tools? But many of your hands are normal size. It's just your legs that are 3 inches long.
I'm a full-size man. So
you're a full-size man, but you've got 3-inch long legs.
You know, in saying that, I seen a guy in the Olympics there, the Paralympics. It's the only Olympics I watch. He was thrown in the swimming pool. That's how he started to swim. Like, he had no legs and no arms, and they threw him in the fucking swim. And then he had to. You know what his name was?
Bob.
You fucking bastard!
Oh, I thought were you actually going for that?
No, Bob. Bob.
Was it really?
No, his name wasn't Bob, but it's funny if his name was Bob. But so he managed to do that.
So did I trample on your punchline there? Sorry, Neil.
No. Bob's that that's like one of the.
That's a joke for the primary school.
It's one that your mum tells you, you know. So if he swam and he done his country proud, you know. Czechoslovakia or whatever fucking weird place he came from. You should fucking go back there.
He's a truck driver now. Come on, he's driving the fuel lorries.
No, so I think I would have the wee short legs. I think that
The wee
would be
short
alright.
legs.
Well, I mean, what the size of your finger? Aye, my willy would still be alright. Wouldn't he like drag across the ground or that?
It still wouldn't drag across the ground.
Nah,
That's interesting.
I'd be alright.
It's interesting. That's quite detailed. I would go for fingers as long as my legs. I just think it would be. You think how lazy you could be. You want to reach for something. Like I'm reaching for something now. If I had fingers as long as my legs, my fingers would be out the window. I could almost touch my car downstairs. So I think that'd be quite handy.
The Uber Eats guy came to drop something off. You could just put your hand
out the window. Just put it there, mate. And it saves him walking up the stairs to the first floor with his mask on, out of breath, trying to find my door and knock it and stuff like that. So thanks to Colin. Colin, once again, really gets us thinking. And then Howlin, our good friend Howlin, an executive producer of the show, he asked the question, have you ever had a ghost poo?
A ghosty? Either my preferred poos to have. I mainly have a ghosty most of the time. I'll be honest.
That's the quality of your diet. Your
well, it's just I think it's
well.
the amount of water that I drink. I just drink a lot of water. I would say that anyway. And I eat grass and all that for the front garden as well. So kidding on, I don't obviously. But ghosties. I'm a fan of a ghosty.
So I was a bit confused when I read this, and I thought he meant, have I ever been visited with a ghost and the ghost has left a poo?
Oh, okay.
So not where you wake up in the middle of the night and you think you've seen a ghost, and then you get back to sleep and you're like, what the fuck was I thinking? And then you get up in the morning and you stand and shite and you go, fuck, there's a ghost poo.
A ghost dog that's came and
I saw a ghost once.
Did you really?
I'll save that story for another show. I'll save it for another show. Seriously, I don't believe.
Here's the link. Here's the link if you want to sign up to see this story.
I won't. No, I won't. I won't use it. I won't do it on a members only. I wouldn't do that. I'll do that on another show. We've got plenty of content for tonight. No, and I don't even believe in ghosts. But I saw something and it was very interesting. And I'll tell all the background of where I was. I was in a castle in Scotland and I had to stay the night, and it was very interesting. So that was 3 questions that we received over at SMRE podcast on Instagram. Now it's worth remembering, Neil, that people can get in touch via Instagram, via email, but also on the hotline.
Call the SMRE hotline 07719 690049. Ooh, I said 69.
So we've got the hotline. Cam's looking for the number to put it on the screen. See if you drag it to the top, Cam. See if you click on the number and drag it right to the top. There we go. So the number is, if you're outside the UK, +44. If you're not outside the UK, it's 07719 69 0049. The phone line is open.
Give us a
you're
call.
Welcome to call in. We actually had a good chat with Rob last week. I listened back to that and it was quite funny until I realised that we were paying for the call. But yeah, you're welcome to call up.
Anybody with any problems, if they're going through any sort of real serious life-threatening things, please get in touch so we can laugh at you for being a fucking weak bastard. Yep. Thanks very much.
Absolutely.
Or let us know if you'd have fingers for feet or for legs.
Well, exactly. And, if your preferred poo is a ghost poo, you can phone up and let us know. No, seriously, the number's there. If anybody's got the cojones and wants to phone in, it's here. It's connected to the mixer board via Bluetooth. We're ready to go. Stick the number back up again. Can I just leave it on the screen for a wee bit? So you mentioned I'd done my live earlier on, Neil, my Instagram live. Like I say, I always do one on a Wednesday before we go live here. And, loyal listener to the show, regular financial contributor to the show over at buymeacoffee.com/SMRE, which is still available for tips and just general, you want to send us some money, you can. But he came onto my live and he was trying to talk us into doing a bit of money laundering.
Fucking hell. That's how much money's in that fucking in the game that he's in, and he's trying to get us to launder it for him.
We don't want to name names.
Ah,
We have spoken about
nah.
him on the podcast before a few weeks ago. He does get triggered and offended when we both get the name of his business wrong.
What's the name of his business? What's Lyman
Pear
Tree
Tree Renovations or Lime
Thistle
Cordial.
and Thistle and Bracken plastering.
Aye, Thistle and Doug Piss on the Thistle installations. Can't remember, but he's a good friend of the show. So he came on and basically, and I think Howland was there. I think Howland was on the live. He would have seen the comments as well. He's wanting to know how he can circumvent the sort of standard banking process. I mean, I think he meant money laundering. He might have been trying to keep the subscription to us over at patreon.com/SMRE a secret from his wife. It might have been that, and maybe I've just read into it that he was wanting us to do it, but I thought it was maybe code for money laundering.
That's an interesting one. It's an interesting fucking camera. I know I'm going to sort this out. Sorry, I apologise, Mark. I know how your OCD will be going mental. You'll be like, fucking hell, I'm going to smash this fucking screen. It's funny how some wives and that they act about like the money sort of thing, between a husband and wife or boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. It's a funny thing. It's a funny thing.
How would you handle that if you were in his circumstances? You wanted to throw your full financial support behind two podcasting international content creating gurus, but your missus, you didn't want your missus to know.
Well, I mean, I would need to give her a stern talking to, and I would just say, listen, this is where my life is going, and this is what I want. I'm a philanthropist, and I want to do this. So please shut the fuck up, and I'm doing what I'm going to do.
Yeah,
that's the way I would say it. But I'm an old-fashioned sort of husband,
Aye, I think as well, in the new world order, as executive supreme leader, that stern talking to would be alarming. Because it would be followed by the van, come and pick you up, take you to your workshop, you're like that with your Festool plunge saw, get your neck on the workbench, beheaded. But I mean, we could if we were smart about it, because we don't want to just needlessly kill hardworking guys, women. We don't want to kill their wives unnecessarily. I could, as a cult leader, I could bring my charisma. Remember in Jungle Book, the snake with the curved spirally eyes and that look into my eyes? I could do all that and convince her to also become a subscriber over at patreon.com/SMRE. I could use the skills I learned in the cult, my skills of persuasion and reason and all that sort of stuff, and I could talk her into it as well. So, you know who you are. We know you'll be listening to this either tonight or when the audio podcast goes live. Just let us know how Neil and I can help you help us.
Well, the thing, we could change the name to something like Presents for My Wife. So when it shows up in the bank statement as Presents for My Wife, and she'll be like, what is he paying this amount every month for presents for me? He's no fucking spending an awful lot. It's only £4 a month he's fucking spending on me, the fucking cheap bastard. That's not what I think. That's what his wife will think.
Aye. I mean, another solution would be we change it so that it shows up in his bank statement as St. Francis's School for Disadvantaged Children. And he's...
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe not St. Francis. He's based on what was revealed about the Catholic Church through the week. That would be quite a dark thing to do.
I never knew what was revealed. What was revealed?
Oh, right, okay. What was revealed, Cam? I think you mentioned it to me.
I don't think it was that, was it?
Oh, there's something like 30,000.
What do you mean, Cam? I don't think it was that. Are you talking, Cam? Does Cam mean I don't think it was that? I don't think the Catholic.
I think it was that.
That Lyman plaster.
What are they kind of known for?
Was one to pay £4 a month. It's a big news
for
outlet.
That.
The Pope was up the top, like waving and all that. That fucking Lyme guy is no fucking paying every month. What was it then? We don't know. It's some paedophilia thing.
Aye, there is a class action lawsuit against the Roman Catholic Church. So maybe not St. Francis's School for Disadvantaged Children. I don't know, maybe something else. We've just
Make a wish.
received a text message.
Mhm.
Is this the Falcon Hoof hotline, which I believe has been
I won't
sent to us
call her.
by our good friend Rob Cassidy?
He's desperate to. He's what to fucking pull up a mic and a camera. He's what to jump on here and just be on it with. He's fucking what to talk to us all the time.
He's wanting us to phone him, which we're not going
Oh,
to
is
do
that
because, listen,
a booty call?
it costs us money, right? We're here to receive money. Right, okay, so talking about receiving money, Cam, can you keep this screen up, but can you go over to the Patreon page? So we need to announce the producers of the show, Neil. So after we said last week we were going to be doing a private members only live stream, immediately we had a raft of folks sign up over at patreon.com/SMRE. Now, that was fantastic for two reasons. It's fantastic that the guys are supporting the show this way. It really is. But it also meant that the live show had plenty of chat and interactivity as well. So we'll run through our producers. These are the producers, and we've got two executive producers. So we'll go through the producers first. We've got Scott Porterfield, Colin Douglas, Rob Simpson, Robert Cassidy, Ryan McGibbon, and MB Carpentry Limited. Now, we know your name. We could just have said your name, but we're going to give you put yourself in as MB Carpentry Limited. So MB Carpentry Limited, the number one company to go to for all of your joinery needs. There we go.
He better not have this on in his fucking house. His wife will be like, "That's fucking you, you bastard! The fuck are you spending that money on that shit for?"
And then we've got two executive producers, so they're at the top tier. Both of them, I think, are outside the UK, just judging by because it's euros. So that's Brendan Howland, our good friend Howland, the Hobbit.
I never knew
He's
his
an
first name
executive
was
producer.
Brendan. I never knew his first name was. I never knew his first name was Brendan.
Neither did I. I don't know whether he goes by Brendan. I don't know. He just goes about as
Just goes by Howland.
Howland.
That's quite a nice
And
name. I don't mind that name.
aye, Brendan's all right.
Brendan.
It's a strange name to have for a Kiwi. I didn't think Kiwis were called things like Brendan. But, you know, he lives in New Zealand. What can you do? So Brendan Howland is an executive producer, and Ray Masterson is also an executive producer. He's getting his second week as an executive producer. So if you'd like to become a producer or executive producer of Social Media Ruins Everything, the internationally available podcast, just go to patreon.com/SMRE. If you sign up today, you don't pay anything until the 1st of November. You're going to get all of the content that's over there, including the live show that we'll be doing round about 8:30 this evening. Private live show, members only, where we get deep and dark and fucking right into stuff that we would never talk about in public. Never. Right. What else you got, Neil? You get any? You said you had some questions that came through on your Instagram.
Aye, it was, but that's for it's talking about your cult experience and all
All
that.
right.
I mean,
leading the
what's-
cult when I was leading the cult, or what my plans are for the cult.
No. Your previous cult that you were kicked out of for obscene fucking whatever you were up to. So that one.
I was
so
kicked out of. I wasn't fucking kicked out of anything. I left.
well, aye. So he was asking me about a few things about that. I mean, if you know what
Okay.
to go into,
We'll hold that for later. Hold that for
aye,
later.
if you know what to go into, because it wasn't like it was a super personal, but aye, it was kind of personal. But and he wants to see a clip made of it as well, if of your answers as well. So that
Is he a member?
No, he's not a member.
Right,
So
okay,
he
fuck
just
off
wants to-
There'll be a clip, but it'll be at patreon.com/SMRE. Cam, sorry. Can you bring up the Buy Me a Coffee page? Because we do have a couple of contributors to that, which is great. You know, people are still, listening to the
thanks very
podcast,
much.
watching the older videos, and they're jumping over there. So Ryan McGibbon, he's now a producer as well, I believe. Am I imagining things?
I think he just says that name.
I
there as
did, didn't
well,
I?
yeah. Mhm,
And
thanks very much.
the other donation has come from, it just says someone. So I don't know if they're doing that because they don't want their missus to know.
Probably.
Um,
Maybe a wife no want her husband to know that she's fucking
I can
talking
see
to
the name.
two
I can
guys.
see the
Oh, right,
name on the email address. It is a carpentry Do you know what? He's actually in the live chat tonight. I've seen his name pop up a couple of times. We might even have mentioned his name earlier on, Neil. We might even have mentioned it. But he's very, very generously contributed 2 coffees to us, as has Ryan McGibbon. So fantastic, boys. Really appreciate it.
Very much. Thanks very much. Thanks very much. No, I've not got anything really else. Obviously we run out of heating oil. Well, nobody actually knows. How is that obvious? I was telling you. We run out of heating oil, but so it's been freezing in the house.
That's why you're wearing your Starsky and Hutch cardigan, innit?
That's why I've got a cardigan. I'm surprised nobody mentioned it, because usually I wear a cardigan and I'm like, what the fuck is that cardigan? You know, but I'm a fan of a cardigan, but I digress. So we run out oil, and we phone up, and a week later we phone them back. Yes, hello. And when is this oil coming? They're like, no, we were actually helping out all our commercial clients first, because I don't know if you know what's going on in the news, and then we're helping domestic people. All right, we've used you for fucking years. And I mean, why are you helping out petrol stations and you're not helping out a poor family who's freezing and
having to wear a cardigan?
Kids, having to wear a cardigan on his showbiz night of the week. And she says, well, I mean, the petrol stations are actually providing key workers with fuel to get to their work.
Is that still a thing?
I don't know how. I was
how is it? During lockdown made key workers because you'd essential people and not. Sorry, I'm triggered. Triggered.
No, I know you're triggered. I know. I know what you're.
Fuck it. That's it. My mental health shot to pieces again. Cameron, go and get the chocolate out the cupboard.
The thing is, it's like we were in the hospital the other night. What Gemma had, the dog had picked up a hair roller thing, right? And Gemma was doing something at the couch, tidying up her, and the dog walked right in, smacked her in the eye, and it scratched her eye, so she had to go in and get that done. We're in the A&E, right? And it's empty. She was in and out in 7 or 8 minutes, and they keep going on key. There's this thing about key workers. It's like, I get that you're a key, you want to call yourself that, and it's like, what is it you do? Oh, I'm a nurse, or I'm fucking this or that. I get. I'm not talking about your job title. What is it you're actually fucking doing to call yourself? You're doing fuck all. You're fucking playing cards in the break room, and you know what I mean? It's just went a bit too far. I don't understand the key. I find it embarrassing at the level where how people can comfortably say I'm a key worker. It's like, yeah, you're going to actually have to call me they them. Sorry. It's like how I would be uncomfortable having to do that, but it seems to be the norm, and it goes back to what I was saying about that program, that film. The Experiment. It's like maybe we are all going fucking nuts, because I read a post today that somebody was saying no, a man can be pregnant and have a baby, but the why we're getting confused with this is because we don't know how to talk about a man, because we need to have a discussion about what a man actually is. So a man can get pregnant and have a baby, and when I look at that, I'm thinking, well, they people are mentally ill. They need to really fucking look at the decisions they've made in their life to get there, and then think, I need to reflect. I need to really chill out on this. So maybe we're all fucking losing it and going mental, you know, and this is the start of it, you know?
Hold on, Neil, the phone's ringing. It's YouTube.
Oh, yes.
It's YouTube. Hello. Right. No, I understand. I totally understand. I have spoken to him about it before, but he doesn't listen to me. Yep. So the whole channel's going down. Right. That won't affect Patreon, will it? That won't affect our Patreon. It will affect the Patreon, so you'll grass us up to Patreon as well. Right, okay. No worries. Thank you. Bye. Right, okay, so next week the show will be going live via carrier pigeon after Neil's little rant. Not that I fucking disagree. I agree wholeheartedly.
It's not even a thing. It's just a silly stage where it's like we're accepting this behaviour, and it's like, but my whole thing is, I don't give a fuck if somebody wants to chop off their willy and fucking poke a fucking fanny, and I don't care what people want to do. I'm like, good, fucking do it. I would encourage people to do it. Go and fucking do it. But we need to just understand that nobody gives a fuck. No one fucking cares about the whatever you're. Nobody gives. Everybody's too concerned about themselves to give a fuck about other people. And it's as if we're meant to be told we need to fucking we need to bow down to this fucking weird fucking craze cult like thing that we're in. I just don't get it, man. It's like we need to, I think that we are gradually becoming more fucking mental, you know?
I don't disagree, and I think I remember a time where choosing to have your penis and testicles surgically removed and a hole gouged out would have made you a special person. Nowadays, all you need to do is work in ASDA, and suddenly you're an essential person. So, I mean, the lengths that you once needed to go to get attention and to be special in society, the bar's fucking away down here now.
It's so low.
What makes
Like,
what makes you special, mate? I work in Lidl. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Aye.
Yes, no. Please go in front of me in the queue. Was that the last pack of rolls? You have them. You have them.
back in the day, right? Back in the day, if you got tampered with your uncle, that was a big fucking deal. That was a big. You were like, people paid attention to you if you were molested by your uncle. Nowadays, it's a fucking hashtag. That's
Yeah.
it.
It's in your
Nobody gives
bio
a
of
fuck.
Instagram.
Nobody gives a fuck. And then it's funny. There was somebody. She deleted the comment that I put on her Instagram because it was a woman that we know, and she was advertising gloves or something. It was she does brand stuff and all that. And I was like, oh, my uncle had a pair of gloves like that, and she says, oh, I think I've got the same uncle. And I don't know what I says. It was something along the lines of, do you know there's somebody out there? I don't even think her comment was that. But basically, it was like, I think there's somebody out there who's pissed off that it wasn't their uncle, it was their friend's uncle that tampered with them. It was something silly like that, but she deleted the comment. But it was because it was like a brand deal, and I was like, delete it if you want, I don't care. But it's it's just the stuff that we
It
need
was
to
a
do
brand
now.
post, so she's got
Aye.
to monitor the comments.
Aye.
Oh, the life of an influencer, man.
I said on the comments, I says you can delete this if you want. You know, I'm not a well man. I don't get out much. But
No,
it's
well,
just
man. I'm 38 tomorrow. My prostate's bothering me.
but it's just, that's the way it is. It's very silly. It's just so silly, man. I just don't get it. I'm like, I support everybody and what they do, but honestly, I don't give a fuck about any issue. It's like, good for you, man. Who cares? Who gives a fuck? Go and do it.
Yep.
Go and do what you want to do and just fucking leave us alone, man. I think it's done. I think it's coming to an end. I think all that stuff's coming to an end.
No, I
you
think
know?
we know that the new world order's getting ushered in already. Chestnut Carpentry has basically petitioned us for what we want our roles to be in the forthcoming new world order. I mean, Klaus Schwab can get to fuck with his fucking Star Trek uniform and his weird Blofeld mansion up in the Austrian Alps. You and I will be running things. And I know at the minute you're saying, well, I don't care. I think once you've got ultimate power as the supreme leader, you will take some action against these people.
Perhaps.
You know,
Perhaps.
I think one of the first things you'll do is you'll flip the definition of a key worker or frontline worker or whatever the term is. You'll flip that so that it's the lazy cunts that hang about their workshop or in their hobbit cave or whatever it is that they're doing. They'll be the essential ones. And the folk working in hospitals or serving you in Lidl, they'll be, no, you can fuck off. You're not getting fuel for your house. You can freeze or buy a new cardigan. Neil's
That was it.
decreed
That's it.
that this is how it is.
That all fucking that's. I was only telling you about the woman who never gave us oil, or was just the key worker. I think it's. I don't know. It's went a bit far. We're really silly. It's just everything's so slow now. Everything is so slow. Like, why is it with all this tech and everything's so slow? Like everything just takes ages now, and it's kind of annoying. But aye, that's it, man. There's nothing else been happening. The only other thing was the plug hole was blocked in the shower, and
Your spunk.
no. The boys. I said to the boys, who's been shaving their balls in the shower? I've told you not to do that. And it turns out it's the middle boy who's shaving his balls with a straight razor. That's how he grooms himself down here. He's got a straight razor and he just whips his fucking pubes off, and I had to clean them out the plug hole last night.
He's one step away from ending up working in that bookshop in Allison Street in Glasgow going at that. You need to watch yourself. One slip and he's selling tranny books.
It's just, I don't know, man. It's like kids, isn't it? It's just having kids, teenagers, man. It's a lot. It's a lot.
Cam, have you ever shaved your balls with a straight razor?
I get the fear just thinking about doing that.
Aye. We've before I forget, we've got a comment on our YouTube, Neil. Should we go to it? Cam, do you want to bring it? Do you want to bring it up? That's the live stream, so you need to pause that so it doesn't freak folk out.
This one here.
Yeah, and if you jump over to, there we go. Cool. So, unfortunately, Neil, your wee picture's no showing up on the screen,
Oh, it's
but
totally fine.
we've got a freeze
Looks as if
frame of you laughing.
Looks as if
Um,
I'm having a good time.
So we got a comment 12 hours ago on Social Media Ruins Everything's YouTube channel, and it's on the clip when a customer offers you Viagra, which is one of our funniest clips to date. It's that fantastic story of the guy offered you Viagra. We get a comment from Biznizzle. The Biznizzle. I don't know what that means, the Biznizzle.
Right.
And his comment is, how much money did you guys spend setting this podcast up? You only have 100 subscribers and the crying with laughter face. What's your
Well,
thoughts on that comment before we get into my reply?
I mean, my thoughts on that is that I get, right, fair enough. Thanks for the comment. That guy should be fucking told to go and fuck his mother or whatever you want, but it's not. It's like I get it. I totally understand it. It's a projection from his own insecurities, because he's watching this, right? And he's thinking, they look as if they've spent a lot of money setting that up. That looks like a professional setup. And really, he wants to be able to do that, but he doesn't want to actually own that he actually wants to do it. So he's like, nah, I'm not going to bother. I'll just put something up, man. If it looks shit, who cares? I'm cool as fuck, blah, blah, fuck about. Well, he's not with a fucking name like that. He's probably 14 years old.
Aye, I mean, he doesn't want to have to ask his mum to get her to go and ask his granny for a loan of the money to be able to do a podcast that looks and sounds like this.
The whole thing is, though, it's like, that's what you do as a job, right? You have all the gear if you're doing it for a job. I have a camera and the mic. I did buy a mic, but I'll use this for years or whatever. The mic's not even that expensive. You know, the camera, I'm going to have it. It's really not expensive to get yourself going now, you know. But it's interesting. I mean, I thought it was a quote for Bob Dylan, but it was on what's the Martin Scorsese thing that they done for Bob Dylan? They done with Bob Dylan, the Thunder Tour review or whatever. I can't remember the name, and it was like something like, life isn't about finding something or finding anything. Life is about creating yourself. So it wasn't Bob Dylan who done that. It was, I googled it. It was George Bernard Shaw, an Irish playwright. But you know that George Bernard Shaw insisted that he was called Bernard Shaw. That was, he wanted people to call him that. So just forget the George. That's on his Wikipedia. I was like, that's pretty
fucking hell! That's giving me ideas from a cult leader title. Carry on.
But the whole thing is, it's like, so I get, so these people are looking at, oh, you've only got 100 subscribers. It's like, well, mate, you need to start wherever you're starting and then build it up to whatever subscribers, and then you reach whatever limit you're going to get to. But you need to actually go and do it. So there's no any point in us doing shit audio and shit, nothing like shit visual, you know, stuff like that, and then think, oh, people will like this. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of.
I mean, I'll get to my reply in a second. This is actually something you and I have spoken about, and when we've been messaging on WhatsApp. I've done what he's done. I've thought what he's, I mean, not with the kind of laughy face at the end, but I've come across YouTube videos. I've maybe been researching something, and I'll come across a YouTube video where it's really well produced. The visuals are great. They've got a good set. The audio's great. And then I look at the view count, and the view count's maybe quite low, and I think, well, that's a bit strange. And then I'll look at the subscriber count, and I'll go, oh, geez, the subscriber count's really, really low. But my first reaction isn't to go, my first reaction is to go, wow, that's mental. They've only got X amount of subscribers, but they're obviously trying really, really hard. I mean, an example is the YouTube channel I came across where the guy was reviewing the wee cloud lifter boxes we've got for our mics.
Okay.
It's a really, really well-produced YouTube channel, but he's not got a lot of subscribers and he doesn't get a lot of views. That doesn't mean, it doesn't mean two things. It doesn't mean the content's good, and it doesn't mean the content's shite. You can have amazing sets and visuals and all the rest of it, and the content's shite, right? And you can have amazing visuals and sound and all that, and the content's great. It's very rare that it's the other way around, where it looks and sounds shite, but the content's great. The way things look and sound is over 90% of the content on YouTube. If something looks poor and sounds terrible, it doesn't matter if it's amazing content. You're not going to watch or listen to it.
Yeah. Oh,
So-
totally.
So and as you said in your wee rebuttal to him there, you've got to start somewhere. I mean, every
that's
YouTube
yeah,
channel
man.
had 100 subscribers. So here's my response. You probably need to click read more, Cam, so that I can actually see everything that I wrote. So see over. Aye, there we go. Nice one. I said, that's an interesting question. I wonder what sort of setup should a podcast with 100 subscribers, 101 actually have? Should it be a shite one? Or should you try from day one to have as professional a setup as possible? Genuinely interested to hear your thoughts. And I mean that, I genuinely am. I want him to come back and say, I expect if you've only got 100 or 101 subs, that your content and your channel should look shite. Because then
Yeah.
I want to go deeper into that with him to figure out why he thinks that.
Well, it's like he's young. He's probably young, and it's all based on the numbers and like it's like, mate, just watch it. Did you think it was? Are you trying to laugh at? Are you trying to laugh because somebody's got a setup that looks good on YouTube? Because if you can come to my house and I'll kick fuck out you if you want. You know, we can fucking battle to the fucking death. I'll happily fight. But it's like, why you want to laugh about a low subscriber number? Are
Yeah.
you fucking? Do you know what I mean?
Now, I
What's a
think I
fucking
can
idiot?
I can sort of join the dots in his psychology a wee bit, right? So
So can
somehow
I, totally.
he's come across the video. I don't know who's come across it. Maybe it's been a YouTube recommended. Maybe he's got erectile dysfunction at a young age. It happens because of the amount of soy products he eats and drinks, right? His testosterone levels are lower than an 8-year-old girl's. That sometimes happens to young men. So he's been Googling Viagra or how can I make my tiny PP hard so the girls like me. He's maybe been Googling stuff like that. And YouTube's remembered that. So next time he's been on YouTube, one of the recommended videos is when a customer offers you Viagra because he delivers pizza. And he's hoping that one of his pizza delivery customers will invite him in and offer him Viagra because then he won't have to ask to borrow his mum's credit card again and order it online. That's how he came across the video, right? And he's clicked play. He's clicked play and then he's seen me, a nearly 50-year-old bald guy with a greying beard, and a nearly 40-year-old almost bald guy with a greying beard. And he's thought, what the fuck are these two loser rockets doing on YouTube with their fancy setup and their lights and their cameras and their big dildo microphones? That's what's happened, right? And it's triggered him. It's triggered him in his small, poorly formed brain where the soy is just eating away his brain cells. His testicles are shrinking by the day. But saying all that, I really do hope Biz Nizzle comes back, watches more content, and at least replies.
Well,
to
even
my
replying
comment.
is fine. Even replying's fine. It's just the whole thing about that with people with numbers. I just don't get it, man. I look at it and I'm thinking, I don't even know if it's really anyway. It's like see if whatever somebody's doing, if I'm into it, I'm like, I'll watch it. It's not as if it's like, well, they've not got any. I mean, I've heard the argument where people say, I don't really follow a page that's only got X amount of followers or whatever because it's no that. I'm like, that's the weirdest
That's
fucking
the
thing.
psychology of that is that the person that thinks that way, they are into U2 or whatever other big band there are, right? And you could
Aye.
say to them, aye, do you want to, I've got this fucking brilliant EP. It's a brand new band. They're not signed yet, but I've got to, what label are they on? Well, they're not on a label. They put it out themselves. Oh, I don't want to listen to that. Because they
Aye.
listen to you too. They don't want to try new stuff before it's big. And you know that there is that kind of cachet thing, right? Where you discover something before every cunt's discovered it, and you go, "That's actually really fucking good," and it's a nice feeling. Have you heard the such and such a band? Have you seen such and such a film? Have you been watching such and such a TV show? Have you been listening to the Social Media Ruins Everything podcast? And when the other person inevitably says no, you've got that kind of wee smug thing. Well, I was in at the ground floor.
That's it, man. It's like you get it, man. I get it. It's like it's just the way people look at stuff. I'm like, I don't get it. I'm like, but then I'm a bit a moron in that way. You know, if somebody's calling you an idiot, and I'm like, oh, why, mate? Why why would you say that? Why would you laugh at me? You want to talk? I'm all right. I can get on with it. You know, it's a weird. I don't have any time for that. Like that sort of behavior. You've only got that many followers. It's like, what you talk? It doesn't make any sense. It makes no sense. You know, it's like the people. There's a Porsche podcast that they do in Newport Beach or down there, you know, and it's
Aye.
it looks
Aye,
like a
aye.
late night. It looks like a late night TV show, but
It's awesome.
so it looks like it's a great set, and they've got
Yep.
all the gear, and they do it, and they might be like have a good following on like in the Porsche world, right? And
Yep.
that's fine, that's good for them. Um, and they're doing fine, you know, but it's like they don't because they don't get like millions of views
No, I
and all
think
that.
they've
But
got 900 something subs.
aye, it's something, but the setup looks like
They've put money into it.
aye, it looks good. So I think fair play, good for them. And it goes back to that quote of you know what I mean? Like you create for stuff. There's a lot of people searching. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yep.
so there's people searching for the next YouTube video to make them to get them to where they want to go. They're searching for this, searching for that, and it's like there's nothing out there to look for. Like I tell people, everything's inside. Happiness is an inside job. But I'm kidding on. But
Don't doubt your greatness.
yeah, but it's chase excellence. So it's like that. You need to. There's nothing there, so you need to create it. You need to go out and say, I think, and I struggle with that, man, because I thought I done all this social media stuff and all that because I needed what's the word? No fulfillment. I needed approval. That's what I thought I was doing it for. That I needed approval,
Yeah,
and you
yeah.
put stuff out. But it's no really approval. I don't really give a fuck. I quite like putting stuff out, and I think it's just I enjoy the reaction for people where you put stuff
Yep.
out and you say this is what I done. It's creating something, and it's fucking camera. I'm really sorry, Mark.
Sorry.
And it's all do you know what I mean? It's that sort of thing. You know, it's that it's just for creating and putting stuff out. Why would you know? Why would you know do this,
Exactly.
right? When at the time we're at, you imagine if you
Time
could
and the technology that's available to us, where you can
exactly.
create radio shows, wee TV
Mm,
shows almost. I'm not saying that's what this is, but you get my point.
no, I
The
totally get your
technology
point.
is there to do it. It's also
Aye,
it's a strange mindset to have to point out to a channel you've only got 100 subscribers, because according to my youngest son, in a year's time we'll have at least 5,000 subscribers, right? So all joking aside,
okay.
and let's say in a year's time we've got 5,000 subs, that guy's
Mhm.
comment is still going to be on that video unless he deletes it. Oh,
Yeah.
well, you get
But
that's some amount of money you've spent in that setup. You've only got 100 subs. What are you talking about? Yeah, wee
aye,
cunt. They've got 5,000 subs. Partly because they put the time and the money and the effort into the setup. And here's the thing that
aye.
he's missing completely, right? This is the point he's missing completely. It's not about money getting spent on that. It's the fact that every fucking Wednesday night we're sat in our seats doing this.
Mhm.
That's
Aye.
the key. Whether there's 100 subs or not, this is what we want to do. We enjoy doing it. It's a highlight of my week, most important thing in my life right now. But we're consistent and we're persistent, and that's what fucking matters. As you say, it's not the numbers.
Mhm. No, it's not the numbers. It's like I think anything you do on any of this stuff is about the way my thinking is going as I travel through adulthood, as I go on. It's a connection.
Yep,
It's a human connection, and that's it as
yep,
well. Like told you one time, like I would get like a message, "Oh, where's your videos?" I was going through a really dark period, and you helped me, which I think that's like fucking hell, mate. You don't need to tell me that, right? Because I can't. I've struggled to take a compliment, but I can also see the thing of saying that's really quite nice that
yeah.
he's messaged and says, "Where is your videos?" Because I liked them. So it's not as if I'm not a fucking savior. I'm not like Jesus Christ. I will be in the new world order, but I'm no. It's a thing, you know. It's like it's a human connection. That's all it is. I think
Aye,
that's all we're here for is like creating stuff, human connection, and it's
yep.
just we need to understand that we're all connected one way or other, you know.
And one thing we've spoken about a lot is the wee community that's really quickly sprung up about the podcast. So the other thing I'm doing over at the Scottish Content Creator YouTube channel, I interviewed a guy. It's the video's not up yet, but I interviewed a guy, and he has a wee hardcore community around his content, and we spoke about that, the importance of community. There's people that will watch your videos, that will comment on your videos. We've got the guys now in the Telegram group chat, and some of the patter and the banter from a Wednesday night continues on into that
Mm,
group chat as well, which is
mhm.
absolutely fantastic. Cam, I'm going to put Scott's last comment up on the screen.
I seen it there.
So Scott Porterfield, producer of the show, says, "Do you see the genuine fear in Neil's face because his camera is acting up?" Mark definitely shouts at him after the show.
It's just because it only films for 29 minutes or whatever it is. You know,
So
but I
those of
did
you that
already.
don't watch the videos but you're listening, that's what
Yeah.
happens is Neil's camera comes up with a wee screen that says EOS webcam utility. It goes black and it just says that for like less than a second, isn't it? And then it
Mhm.
comes back on again because he says the camera is only designed to actually be in video mode for 30 minutes at a time.
Going back to your thing, mate. What's that?
Did you notice Mark says it's fine as he died
I,
inside?
I seen
No,
it
no,
because
no. Listen,
I can still see, and
listen.
he can't see me because I'm off. I see him fucking taking a puff of that vape. Aye, it's
Grit my
fine
teeth.
for
No,
fuck's
listen. I
eye.
don't mind it. I don't mind it. Right. So here's how we fix it.
Mm-hmm.
Patreon.com/SMRE or
No,
buymeacoffee.com/
actually,
SMRE.
I've got a thing me coming. I got the M50
You've
there,
ordered it?
but but I've got it coming. It's no in stock because I managed to
Right.
get a good deal when I was well. I'll wait. I don't mind waiting if I
Aye,
get a
aye.
good
No,
deal.
good
So,
stuff.
because that's
And it'll no
continuous.
matter
That's
next week
continuous.
anyway because of what we've
No,
got planned, eh?
yeah, we've got planned.
Wink,
Aye.
wink, say no
And
more.
see, going back to you just mentioned your the other podcast. I think like I mean, just thinking off the top of my head, I've no system. I don't know if that episode's up. Is it with the? Is it
It's
the
not up
both?
yet, no.
All right, okay, because the well, Rob Cassidy would like. I thought it was good for anybody who wanted to start a podcast or start
Yeah.
a YouTube thing or whatever. It was I think I really liked it. I thought I was kind of inspired by it. It doesn't take a lot to me to be inspired, right? Because I listen to anybody's bullshit and think, really, man. But I still think it was valuable. I thought it was a
Aye.
good episode.
No, I was
And
really, really glad I got the chance to speak to him. So, just for those that don't know what I'm talking about, I've got another show on YouTube, the Scottish Content Creator Show. Lame title, I know, but I couldn't fucking think of anything else. But what I'm trying to do in that is interview people who are creative. So, last time it was NY Woodworks from Instagram. So, I spoke to him about his journey from being a US Marine to being a woodworker on Instagram and Etsy, sells his stuff on Etsy. And the one that Neil's referring to is an interview with a guy who, along with me, was one of the first UK podcasters. He pointed out there was only 4 or 5 of us at the time, which I'd forgotten.
crazy,
And it was a
crazy,
tiny, tiny wee community back then.
crazy.
So he's still going strong. He's still got a podcast. He's on YouTube, etc. So it was great to interview him. And he's actually got quite a cool wee studio. His studio is pretty cool, man, isn't it? It's funky
Aye, it's cool.
and
I
kind of
liked it.
eclectic and all that, you know?
I started watching. I'll put on some of his videos, and it's the thing. It's not really my content that I would watch.
Yeah,
But do you know how you get people like that? It's not my content, but see when he has an interview like that, when he talks to
yeah,
you openly about what he's doing, that's the stuff I like. I'll listen
yeah,
to all that. I like all that stuff. So I really like that. I did think NY Woodworks was a great one as well. You know, I
yeah.
like that one as well. He says he was pretty nervous because I messaged him a few woodworkers because he mentioned a few and I sent him them and says, oh, you should check out these guys. But I thought that was great as well. You know, I thought it was good. I think you've done 2 excellent episodes, so
Thank you,
well
Neil.
done.
I'm learning to take a compliment. So we're getting absolutely roasted in the chat. Folk are saying, Scott, well, on you go, Cam. Scott Porterfield says, classic domestic. Neil is making excuses now. Rob Simpson says, you're wearing your cardigan to hide your injuries. Your bruises up your arms. I don't have many anywhere that can be seen.
No, I mean
Um,
he means well. It's my fault. He means well. It's just it's me. It's me. You know, I'm not good enough. It's me.
Rob Simpson says visions of Mark dragging Neil down to the lock and dunking his head under repeatedly while shouting, "Sort your webcam, you cunt!" Right, I'm trying to think, is anything on the spreadsheet because we've got a couple of minutes left on the public live show before we go and get organised for the Patreon members only. And if you want to check that out, guys, it's patreon.com/SMRE. If you sign up tonight, you're not going to pay anything until the 1st of November, but you'll get access to tonight's live show. You'll be able to go and watch back last week's live show where I go into, it must have been an hour-long rant about a letter I received in the post, but why it bothered me so much.
I think, I've been thinking there's a podcast I listen to, and well, I sent you the thing of her stuff, and I really like it.
Aye.
But she's only behind a
Only
paywall now,
Patreon.
so
Yep.
she's got 2 podcasts that she done, and she put them out. It's like 20 odd episodes in each one, and that was it. And now she does it weekly or whatever, and she does it on, and it's $5, $5.50, and I'm like, I don't know, man. I like to listen to it, but I don't know. I might, So it's just I'm like, fuck. I don't know. It's $5.50. It's fucking $5.50 a month. Really, $5 as well. So it's like fuck all,
Aye.
really.
So it's four.
You know
I think
what I
I think that comes out at about £4, doesn't it? Same as we're asking for
Aye.
ours.
So
What have we
so-
got?
Aye.
Sorry, I'm just looking at it.
No,
Cam's
you
get the
go.
sheet loaded up. I can see it here. The podcast subscriber demographics. And this is something I haven't spoken about in weeks.
Okay.
We brought this up way back early doors. So Cam's just bringing that up just now on the screen. The demographics are interesting. I mean, again, it comes down to the numbers. How bogged down do you get with this sort of thing? But the demographics are as follows. This is for the audio podcast. This is for the people that choose to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify,
Oh.
etc. The demographics are 76% male, 21% female, and 3% non-binary. Now, I think we need to have a celebration that we've reached the non-binary audience.
Most diverse podcast in Scotland.
I would say the UK, even. I think
Just don't
actually,
just don't come with any of your bullshit, and you'll be fine.
exactly. All are welcome over at patreon.com/SMR. Everybody's welcome over there. Everybody's welcome to watch and listen to this. Actually, and I was laughing about this, and I was telling my mate about it the other night. I says that there's been when we talked about it at the time, he says, we need some non-binary listeners. You just know for a fact that some of the guys that subscribe to the podcast, the audio podcast, have went and changed their gender on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, whatever it is, to reflect that. Because I don't actually think we'll have very many non-binary. Well,
What is non-binary? That's just
non-binary
nothing.
is where you don't identify as cis
okay.
male or cis female.
Oh well.
You're
Well, fair enough. That's kind of like me.
wearing that cardigan, I would say so.
Oh, done a wee pick.
A little snort
when I was laughing.
Right, guys, we're going to wrap up. I'm absolutely bursting for a pish.
Okay, thanks very much.
I better tell a wee story about that just before we go, if that's okay.
Go for
For over 2 years, there's been a leak in my bathroom, right from the shower, and it's basically fucked the hallway and part of my daughter's bedroom, which borders onto the bathroom. And I couldn't get anything done about it in 2019. And of course, COVID happened, and we're not allowed to do it. All right, okay, so I've just have mold and dampness because there's a respiratory virus. That makes perfect fucking sense. So basically, it's fucked the flat, right? And I've tried to point out, look, the guy's investment, the landlord's investment, is getting fucked because they're not dealing with us. So anyway, they pulled their finger out, and the plumber and the joiner started today. So they came
Brilliant.
this morning, right, and they're ripping the tiles off in the bathroom. Got the bath out, ripped the tiles off and all that. And then the guy knocked the door in here, and he says, mate, you need to come and have a look at this. And the whole fucking wall is fucked. It's
Black
fucked. This
mold?
black mold, rotten. Like, you can just go like that with your finger and then you're right through. And it's concrete walls
That's
in
what
here.
happened.
You're right through. So
That's what happened, man.
he says, look, there's nothing we can do with this. And now they're going to need to get heaters or dehumidifiers and dry the room out before we can do anything else. So he phones the landlord, and
Aye.
I heard him on the phone. Right, you're going to need to get some heaters up to the guy's flat for in the bathroom. So the guy for the letting agency showed up at the door about 6 o'clock tonight. You know the wee fan heaters that are about that size? You would have in an office under the desk for the secretary because it's cold. One of them. It's going to take about a month to dry the walls out using that. My electricity bill's going to go through the roof.
I mean, but what they're wanting to do with that, if that's black mold, they want to rip the suite out and they want to rip the plasterboard off and they want to redo it. That's the proper way to do that. You
There's
can't
no
have black
plasterboard.
mold.
There's
What's it
no
on it?
plasterboard. It's
What is it?
concrete. It's concrete walls.
Concrete walls.
Concrete walls in here. All the walls are concrete. So they've got a skim of plaster. They've got a skin of plaster, but there's no plasterboard.
Okay.
So they're not hollow.
I thought it was
No.
plasterboard.
So it's
was
right
not
into the
damp.
concrete. It's soaked
Oh,
the
okay.
concrete. So
Alright,
I don't have a shower or a bath for the foreseeable. So this time next week,
Gonna
I'll
get
just be
stinky.
sitting here like pure fucking.
Could get stinky.
Yeah. So that's what's happening here, right?
Well, I mean, dry it out. They need a dehumidifier. You need to get a
Dehumid, not a fucking fan.
No,
So
no, you need a dehumidifier to take the moisture. You definitely need that.
I don't know what I'm
Okay.
meant to do with that. It's literally a wee fan with an element that you would have at your feet in a cold day in an
Aye.
office. What the fuck that's meant to do it? And then I was
Oh, I
like,
tell
that to
you
Cam, where am I supposed to plug it in?
where you meant to plug it in. Well, I tell you what, see that wee radiator, that wee heater. Me and Lewis and my mate Alan worked renovating a small wee lodge thing one Christmas, maybe 2018, and he brought his heater along, Alan, and we put it in the middle of the place, and it heated the full lodge up. It was fucking brilliant. So you might be all right, but no to dry out.
No, it's not
in the
about heating the room. I can have the radiator on. I could crank the
Aye, aye.
radiator, right? But that's just going to create more moisture.
Mhm,
As it starts to dry out, it's going to create more moisture in the bathroom, which is probably the opposite of what needs to be done. Surely there's some guys in the chat know what we need to be doing. There's experts. Howlings
what
are
you need.
a fitter
You
of
need a
pro-
he's a fit, but
bathrooms and kitchens.
you need a he'll fucking just rip out, throw in any old shite just so it's fucking done. You know what I mean? Just fucking rip it out, throw it in, just get the money off the guy and get to fuck and go and shag a sheep in New Zealand, whatever. Or fuck it, he's out fucking what, marlin fishing or whatever it is he's doing.
Tuna fishing.
Yeah. Tuna fishing, aye, swordfish fishing.
In the chat, which we're not going to address, he says, "Can we talk about Mark's missus left the Telegram chat?"
Oh,
No, we
I saw.
can't.
You know, I saw that.
No, we
I
can't.
saw that. It came up.
They
It
just come up,
says-
Mary left.
she's left. And I was, I seen it, and I was like, oh well, that's funny.
Well, I had to boot her out. I had to boot her out
Oh,
because
okay,
she's
okay.
not a Patreon subscriber. Right, I need to go. We'll see you
Okay,
guys.
thank you very
Everybody
much for
watching that's a subscriber at patreon.com, we'll see you over there in about 10 minutes. We'll put a link on Patreon to where you can watch. Everybody else that's been watching, amazing. We appreciate you being here. If you're listening to the podcast, we appreciate your listenership.
Thanks very much, and we'll see you later on.
Speak to you next week, guys.